Alright, in this lesson we will be writing algebraic expressions. So it's important to know what an expression is. An expression is basically like a math sentence without an equal sign. So if you have an equal sign, that would be called an equation, not an expression. So when we're writing algebraic expressions, it's important to know which operation we'll be using. So let's discuss some words that give us clues as to which operation we'll be using. So let's start with adding. So you'll know that you will be adding numbers if you have words like sum, plus, more than, or increased by. These are all clues that you'll be using a plus sign. Alright, clues that you'll be subtracting. Remember, order doesn't matter when you're adding. Order does matter when you're subtracting. So the clues that you'll be subtracting would be words like difference, minus, less than, or decreased by. Those are all clues that you will be subtracting. Okay, so what are some clues that we will be multiplying? Clues that we'll be multiplying, some multiplying words would be product, that's the answer to a multiplication problem, times, twice actually means times 2, triple actually means times 3, or if you have the word of, that means multiplying. Those all mean multiplying. Alright, now what are some clues that we will be using division? The answer to a division problem is called a quotient. They might also say divided by. They might actually use the word ratio, or they might use the word per, like miles per hour. Alright, let's try some practice ones. So, example. If I have 4 less than a number. So the three parts I notice are 4, I notice less than, and I know a number. Now the tricky part is less than, if you look up there, means subtract. If I say I have less than something, though, this is a tricky one. When I say less than something, that means you start with the number, and then you have 4 less than that. We don't know what the number is, so we get to choose a letter. I'll just choose x. So in this case it's x, and then 4 less than x. So x minus 4. Again, order matters in subtraction. Example 2. If I say 7 increased by the product of 2 numbers, I see 3 parts. I see my part 7 increased by, and then the product of 2 numbers. So increased by means adding. So I'm going to start with 7. Increased by is plus. The product of 2 numbers. Now I don't know what the 2 numbers are. Those I will pick variables for. So the product of 2 numbers, let's choose A times B. Product means multiplying. Example 3. Let's say I have the quotient of a number and 16. Again, I have to go through my parts. I see quotient, I see a number, and I see 16. Looking back at my notes, I know that quotient means division problem. Number, we don't know what that is, so we'll choose a variable. And 16. Remember, the order for division matters. So when I'm writing a division problem, I can write it two different ways. The quotient of a number and 16. So my number could be n divided by 16 using the division symbol. Or another way to write division is a fraction. So you could write it n divided by 16. Either way is correct. Example 4. We could say the sum of m and n. Well, again, I have sum of m and n. So sum means the answer to an addition problem, so I will add m and n. My answer. Let's try a tricky one. I will have triple the sum of a number and 6. So here's where a tricky one comes in play. We have triple, but they want you to have triple the sum of a number and 6. So we need triple, then the sum of a number and 6. So we know triple means 3 times. And we need to do the sum of a number and 6. We don't know what a number is. That's our variable. We'll choose any letter, except usually O. So the number and 6. So the sum of, let's say a number is x plus 6. But if I write it this way, this only looks like I'm multiplying 3 by x. So since I want the sum of a number, if we want to triple the sum of a number and 6, we want to triple all of it. Put parentheses around it. When it says triple the sum of, or 5 times the sum of, put parentheses around it. Last example. Example 6. Let's do the difference of 6 and twice a number. So we're not saying 6 less than, we're saying the difference of. So difference means subtract. I want to subtract 6 and twice a number. So there's 2 parts there. So I want difference is subtract. So I want to do 6, subtract, twice a number. Twice means 2 times. We don't know what the number is, so we choose a letter. 2 times, that could be any letter. I'm going to choose M.